Good afternoon, all. A very warm welcome to our webinar on an overview of Tisax and how to prepare towards moving towards Tisax accreditation. I'm sure you're picking up on the Glasgow accent. I'm currently speaking to you from a very wet Glasgow, which is our normal weather for June. So I hope that the weather is better where you are. And it's, as I said, it's a very warm welcome to this slide on this presentation on Tisax that we're doing today. Just want to give you a quick introduction to myself. Richard obviously touched on David Goodfellow. I'm the UK Sales Manager for TÜV SÜD. In recent years, I've worked for three of the key players in testing, inspection and certification, from key account management to new business development across varied industries. So I've got quite a fantastic knowledge that I've built up of certification. I'm very passionate about it and supporting businesses in their journey to improve the way they do things moving forward. And Tisax is certainly one that's new to the market for me in the last few months, but it's something that I'm very interested in and very passionate about it. So just to go over the agenda for today, I just want to give you some background on Tisax. Who does this benefit? What does it mean for the automotive industry? More specific to the UK, and what are the benefits of Tisax? And then we can have a summary at the end, just a few final thoughts to go over some of the things that we've discussed today. Richard's already touched on the fact that we can do some questions and answers. I also want to give you a bit of an overview. So maybe people on the webinar who have never worked with TÜV SÜD in the past or new to hearing about us. So it's important to let you know a wee bit about our business and where we sit at the moment. We are one of the world's leading testing, inspection and certification companies. We have currently over 570,000 live certificates globally, over 1,000 offices worldwide, with I think 25,000 employees was the last count. We've got fantastic technical expertise in testing, inspection and certification. Certification at the moment is a focus for us in the UK marketplace as we look to grow the business. So after this call, if you've got any thoughts on ISO certification or anything else, please reach out to us, connect with me on LinkedIn, reach out to us by email, and we're more than happy to help in any way possible. So the agenda for today is to go over the history of Tisax, some background on it. Who does it benefit? What does it do for the automotive industry? What are the benefits of Tisax? And then a few final thoughts at the end, just to reiterate the agenda again, because I jumped about there. Tisax was launched around 2017 in Germany within the automotive industry. Many suppliers and service providers in the car industry clearly deal with highly sensitive information with relation to car design, components, all the different elements that we're all aware of. And the request is obviously common within the marketplace. What compliance or how do you deal with the security of our data to their suppliers? In most cases, such evidence was dealt with by the ISA, which was developed by the German Association of the Automotive Industry, VDA. However, obviously, individual manufacturers have all got their own ISAs for the suppliers independently. So many suppliers were having to undergo the same assessments time and time again, which was obviously very time consuming, very costly. So to help with this, the VDA established Tisax, which stands for the Trusted Information Security Assessment Exchange. A bit of a tongue twister. The dedicated Tisax platform is designed to support cross-company recognition of information security assessments within the industry. By sharing the results online, companies enables OEMs to verify for themselves whether a service provider or supplier has successfully completed the assessment. In addition, Tisax can be used to commission audit providers such as ourselves, TÜV SÜD, to carry out an independent assessment. And similar to ISO certification, the results of such assessments are valid for 3 years. following sort of registration within the Tisax platform, all audit providers can access the information. And VDA have opted for an organisation called ENX as the Tisax operator and third-party body to cover this. There's different assessment levels to each company. It's built over 3 assessment levels. Level 1 is for standard suppliers who only need to complete the ISA questionnaire and publish this self-assessment in Tisax. This would be, for an example, it could be any sort of company who's very limited data, which has been sent from the OEMs to the supplier and vice versa. Level 2 is a case of a more complex suppliers. The self-assessment will be followed by plausibility checks by telephone, and then an approved audit provider would obviously audit the business as well to ensure that the correct technical support is dealt with for protecting the data. And then level 3 is suppliers who handle highly sensitive external data. That will also include on-site inspection by an approved audit provider. This is all sort of based on their the level which they're actually dealing with and the information that they initially output when the questionnaires are completed. So just moving on to the next slide. Why would you want Tisax? Who does it benefit? Tisax is growing at a fantastic fast rate in Europe. More and more automotive companies are now asking suppliers and potential suppliers, are you Tisax certified? I personally predict that this will continue to grow. And ideally, you want to be ahead of the curve if you're supplying at all to the automotive industry. The sales benefits are also huge. When you're compliant with Tisax, you're registered on the website that I mentioned earlier on in the online platforms, which will give your company details full visibility to new potential customers. Something that your business development managers can also use as a sales tool when they grow the business within the automotive industry. It will become more and more common that not being Tisax approved will actually become an objection for your business. It could become the start of a bit of a challenge. So this will give you and your customers peace of mind that everybody is also abiding by the same rules and regulations which are imposed within Tisax accreditation. So moving on to the next slide. What does it mean for the automotive industry? It really is a fantastic thing for the automotive industry. And I don't hear negative within the marketplace. There's nothing negative said about it. It's industry leading. It's the first to actually a standard against information security, which is only for the automotive industry. So it's going to give transparency through the whole supply chain. Obviously, regarding the secure transmissions of intellectual property, Tisax has a criteria to protect all data. The main benefit is that the safer collaboration between suppliers and customers is paramount to the certification. As I mentioned previously, this could be highly confidential drawings. It could be the faults that would give competitive edge. Anything which is being discussed, that data is so important and is critical that it's looked after in the right way, and also ensures that the right people are the only people that are able to view that data. So it makes the whole supply chain more secure. And a big thing for me is that it gives peace of mind and trust within the industry. Tisax will ensure that companies suppliers are doing what they're saying they're doing. And again, that will feed back to peace of mind. A secure supply chain, to me, in the long run, will save money for all suppliers, companies, OEMs. You're not having to go through multiple audits by multiple organizations. In some ways, and this is very similar to accreditation globally across different platforms, you just want peace of mind that everybody's working in the same way and in the same route, and this is what this will give you. So it will allow you to focus your time as opposed to dedicating resource to additional audits planning for those audits, ensuring that you're maintaining those audits. This will allow you to focus on actually growing your business or deal with any other risks to your business with the peace of mind of Tisax. You'll notice that I keep using the term peace of mind. And again, it's because I see this as so important, especially certain things that have happened in the world in recent years. It shows conformity within the supply chain. That it increases the level of trust moving forward. And again, it's only going to improve your business is the way any certification will. It'll improve the way you do things, ensure that you look at how you do things, and show you where there's risks to your business and how you can improve things going forward. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink of water there. So the benefits of Tisax, I've touched on these to a great deal so far on my overview, but in summary, there's no duplication or multiplication of assessments, as I've said. Major time and cost saving based on cross-company recognition of assessments and information. Trust in assessed companies. To me, within the marketplace as well, this will allow you to win new business in the back of Tisax while protecting your data and that of your customers. Reduces the risks to your organisation. A lot of suppliers will also request that you are ISO 27001 certified, which is the information security global standard. This will put you on the route to that as well, because if you were to compare both standards, there's a lot of parallels between both of them. Assessments may only be performed by audit providers that are accredited by Tisax. So there's not going to be unaccredited audits that are it's a box ticking exercise. There's going to be value from it for your business moving forward. You will also have approval that you dictate what parts of your business information is shared through Tisax, which will clearly be important for you, for your own security. So you can dictate when things go out and when they'll actually happen. So it's been a very quick overview of Tisax and what's involved. To reassure you that Tisax will be growing within the industry more and more. It's going to become more prevalent. The word is that it'll get to a stage where obviously Volkswagen are using it, Porsche, I believe, are also using it. There will be others as well, and this will be for suppliers right throughout the supply chain. So it's important to actually get ahead of the curve. That you can be proactive and say, let's get Tisax accreditation now, so that it doesn't block or create objections for us in the future. Or we want to grow our business, so let's use Tisax to help us do that. So I'm now happy to take any questions. I think Richard's been dealing with that. If there's any questions have come up. This is just an initial brief overview of Tisax and what's involved in it. So at this point, I'm happy to take questions.
Hi, David. I've got a few questions here, so I'll just run through those quickly.
Okay.
So the first one is, what information do I need to provide during the registration?
Okay. So the information that you need to provide is obviously it'll be your company name, company contact, the address of your business, and now this has to be the registered address of your business. It's important that that's the legal address. In the UK, it'll obviously be with Companies House. During the registration of a scope, you also need to provide the following information, which would be your scope name, scope type. Now, scope can be defined as what you actually do within your business. What part of the supply chain are you? What do you want to be covered under the scope of the certification? You've also got to provide your assessment objectives, scope locations. So that would be the sites that are covered within your certification. Main scope contact and invoice information as well for billing. That's just all part of the registration, which is done through the ENX website and is required for Tisax.
Okay, thanks. So another couple here. One is, can I register on behalf of another company?
No, as far as I'm aware, I will double check that for you, and we'll come back to you with regards to confirming that. But as far as I'm aware, it has to be, for example, a consultant couldn't do it. Legally, it has to be somebody who is signing off on behalf of the organisation who are being Tisax audited. I think that will be down to transparency, but I also think on a legal side, that'll be very important that, yes, it's got to be somebody actually from the company who's covering that. But again, as I said, I'll double check it, but I'm 99% sure that it has to have full legal capacity within an organisation.
Okay, cool. Thanks, David. I've got a couple more questions. The next one is, if you are ISO 27001 certified, are you automatically compliant to Tisax?
No, you're not. They are two standalone standards. As I mentioned previously during the presentation, there are a number of parallels. If you were to sit both documents next to each other, you could cross-check them. But this is a standalone for the automotive industry. I do think that companies will, because ultimately the ISO certification is again there to generate revenue that protects, against information security. So you could have different suppliers in different industries, so that they are standalone standards. But to me, it reinforces what you do with regards to information security, and it'll be, you'll be more than protected with obviously the protocols that you have in place, the processes you have in place. So I hope that answers that question.
Okay, I've got one more question so far, which I'm not sure that one we'll be able to answer or not. But so, which OEMs are subscribed to Tisax as it is VDA driven?
Again, I'll need to come back to you on that. I know of one or two. As far as I know, some are still going through the process of accreditation. So if we will take your name and number on that one, and we'll come back to you on that as well.
Okay, so I don't have any other questions at the moment. So
just as a summary then from me, as I said at the start of the call, Tisax will be growing in the marketplace. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Drop me an email, get in touch if there's any other questions you have. If you're looking at costings for this, again, we can support you through the process. It's something that we're going to be putting a lot of focus on moving forward. So we're more than happy to help you in any way, shape or form, no matter what your question is. Please get in touch, and we're there to help.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, that we will call it the end of today's event. If you do have any more questions, if you want to send those through to him, we'll be happy to answer those offline. So any kind of clarification need of anything, we're always there and happy to help. So on behalf of the presenters today, I'd like to thank you for joining today's event. If you'd like any more information, then please visit our website, which is www.tuvsud.com/UK. And thanks again for attending.